a grand country, home to millenary civilizations and cultures, with beautiful landscapes full of ancient churches and monasteries that tell us about its rich history and culture, known for its cities and legendary customs. Definitely, a journey through Armenia is a walk through history with an incredibly diverse landscape of beautiful lakes and canyons that contrast with the high mountains, the beautiful valleys, and fertile plains of vineyards resting at the foot of the imposing Mount Ararat, which is why this land has been called the Land of Noah. Let's explore together and discover some of the most interesting and extraordinary facts about Armenia. Welcome to the Places of the World channel. Armenia is one of the oldest nations and cultures in human history. According to Armenian tradition, Armenians are descendants of Hake, a great-great-grandson of Noah. Armenia considers itself the land of Noah's family and Mount Ararat as the mother mountain of the world. For this reason, this famous mountain appears on its national coat of arms. According to tradition, Hake freed his people from Nimrod, the leader of Babylon, famed as the builder of the Tower of Babel and regarded as the first tyrant on earth. Hake was the founder of Armenia and gave his name to the new nation, the Hay, who called their land Hake, today known as Armenia. By the 9th century BC, the famous kingdom of Urartu already existed in the region, stretching from eastern Anatolia in present-day Turkey to areas of what are now Iran, Syria, and Asia Minor. The capital of Urartu was Erebuni, the present-day Yerevan, capital of Armenia. Urartu was eventually conquered by the Assyrians in the 7th century BC. As has happened many times in Armenian history, the nation was later conquered by Babylonians, Persians, Greeks, Romans, Byzantines, Muslim caliphates, Mongols, Ottomans, and eventually the Soviets, from whom Armenia gained independence in 1991. The flag of Armenia has 3 horizontal stripes that reflect its proud history. Red, representing the blood of its heroes and martyrs. Blue, representing its sky, and orange, representing the courage, valor, and hard work of its people. Greater Armenia and the Silk Road, an ancient kingdom that existed from the 9th century BCE to the 14th century CE. It stretched from the eastern coast of the Black Sea to the Caspian Sea, and from the Caucasus to the Tigris River, largely corresponding to present-day Armenia and parts of neighboring countries, including Turkey, Azerbaijan, Iran, and Georgia. The Kingdom of Armenia was an important center of trade and culture, playing a significant role in the development of the Silk Road due to its strategic geographic position in the region of Western Asia and Eastern Europe, allowing Armenia to participate in commerce and cultural exchange throughout the centuries. Armenia also supplied many products to the West, such as the apricot or peach, a national symbol of Armenia. The history of the peach dates back to the 4th century BCE, when Alexander the Great brought this fruit from Armenia to Greece and from there to Rome, thus spreading it widely. Great archaeological remains testify to the wealth and development of Greater Armenia, such as those found in eastern Turkey in cities like Ani, the ancient Armenian capital, and Diyarbakir, a city with a long history dating back to the 9th century BCE. The city was founded by the Armenians. Ararat Province is a region known for its varied landscape, which includes agricultural areas, mountains, and valleys. Agriculture is a fundamental part of the region's economy, with crops such as wheat, barley, fruits, and vegetables. Its name is derived from Mount Ararat, an iconic and sacred mountain that has historically been an important part of Armenia's cultural and religious identity. According to biblical sources and other ancient traditions, Mount Ararat is said to be the place where Noah's Ark came to rest after the Great Flood, which is why it is known as the Land of Noah, making it a source of hope and inspiration for Armenians around the world. The majestic peak can even be seen from Yerevan, but the most beautiful view is from Khor Virap Monastery, located about 30 kilometers southwest of Yerevan and only around 100 meters from the border between Armenia and Turkey. Khor Virap Monastery is one of the most important pilgrimage sites in Armenia, as it is the place where Saint Gregory, the Illuminator, was imprisoned for 13 years. Today, Mount Ararat remains a powerful symbol of national identity for Armenians. Although it has been part of the eastern Anatolia region of Turkey since 1923 under the Treaty of Kars, Armenia considers it historically and legally part of its own territory, as it does not recognize that treaty. Armenia is recognized as the first nation in the world to adopt Christianity as its official religion in the year 301 AD. The conversion of Armenia to Christianity is a fundamental part of its history and culture, according to historical sources and Armenian tradition. The gospel was preached in Armenia by the apostles Thaddeus, Bartholomew, also known as Nathaniel, and Thomas, who succeeded in converting the first believers in the country. According to Armenian tradition, there is a particularly interesting story about how King Tiridates III and Gregory the Illuminator played a decisive role in the acceptance of Christianity in the country. As the tradition and Armenian historical accounts tell, King Tiridates suffered from a mental illness that drove him to commit cruel and violent acts during the 3rd century AD, including the imprisonment of Christians. Among those imprisoned was a man named Gregory, who, while being held for years, prayed for the king's healing. Eventually, the king was cured of his mental affliction and considered his recovery a miracle. He accepted the Christian faith, and in the year 301 AD, he declared it the official religion of the country. That same year, the king began the construction of what is considered the first Christian cathedral in history, the Cathedral of Echmidzin, which remains the spiritual center of the Armenian Apostolic Church and one of the most sacred sites for Armenians. Today, about 97% of Armenians identify as members of the Armenian Apostolic Church. A dark period in the country's history. The Armenians living between the 16th century and the early 20th century, in the lands known as Western Armenia or Historical Armenia, were under the yoke of the Ottoman Empire. Territories that currently belong to the Republic of Turkey suffered massacres organized and carried out by the Ottoman Empire authorities. In 1915 and lasting until 1923, the genocide was carried out through physical destruction and deportation, including the forced displacement of civilians under conditions that led to certain death. In 1907, Sultan Abdul Hamid II was overthrown, and the Committee of Union and Progress took power in Turkey, also known as the Young Turks, who held the ideology or dream of a greater Turan stretching from the Balkans to the Altai Mountains. Turkey's entry into World War I in 1914 gave the Young Turks the opportunity to make a final decision on the Armenian question, that is, the complete extermination of the Armenians. Who now remembers the extermination of the Armenians? Asked Adolf Hitler, thus motivating the German attack on Poland and the planning of the Jewish Holocaust. As a result, 1.5 million Armenians were massacred and the rest deported. Most of the survivors were forced to seek refuge in other countries such as Syria and Lebanon. From there, many emigrated to other destinations like the United States, France, Russia, Argentina, and Brazil, forming the large Armenian diaspora that exists today. Currently, it is estimated that between 8 to 10 million Armenians live abroad, tripling the number of Armenians living in Armenia. The Armavir region is located in western Armenia. It is the smallest in the country, but also the most densely populated. This province lies on the fertile plains between Mount Ararat and Mount Aragats. The beauty of these fertile lands is reflected in the vineyards scattered throughout the region, home to some of the best wineries in the country. In Armavir, there are sites of great importance to Armenian history, such as the pagan temple of Garni, located about 20 kilometers from Yerevan and built in the 1st century AD. In the 4th century, following Armenia's conversion to Christianity, it was replaced by a Christian cathedral. Today, it is considered a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Just a few kilometers away is the Cathedral of Echmidzin, the spiritual center of the Armenian nation and the seat of the Catholicos of all Armenians. The region is also home to the Sardarpat Memorial, which commemorates the battle that saved the Armenian nation from invasion and the Turkish genocide. Also in western Armenia lies the province of Aragatsin, whose name means at the foot of Aragats, the highest mountain in the country, dominating the province's landscape. Here you can find places such as the Sagmosavank Monastery, whose name means Monastery of the Psalms, as it was a center for studying and copying religious manuscripts, particularly the biblical Psalms. The monastery was built in the 13th century, during the height of Armenian medieval architecture, and is today a popular tourist destination. Finally, very close to it stands Ambert Fortress, a power center for several Armenian dynasties, built in the 10th century on the southern slope of Mount Ararat. The Shirak region, located in the northwest of Armenia, is a place of captivating beauty and culture. At its heart lies the historic city of Gyumri, considered the country's second-largest city, known for its traditional architecture and vibrant artistic spirit. To the northeast, the Lori region is home to the charming town of Vanadzor, surrounded by mountainous landscapes and the cradle of rich Armenian history. Nearby, the Hagpat Monastery stands as a testament to medieval architectural skill. The Hagpat Monastery is also famous for its academy, which played a crucial role in education and the preservation of knowledge during the Middle Ages. Currently, along with the nearby Sanahin Monastery, they are recognized as a World Heritage Site. Not far from there, the picturesque village of Sorojit offers a peaceful retreat by the Vej River. Sorojit is also known as the place where thousands of storks arrive and reside between spring and autumn each year. Armenia is a country rich in bird life. It is estimated that at least 500 different species of birds live in the country. To the east, in the Tavush region, the majestic Dilijan National Park unfolds its dense forests, serene lakes, and trails that invite exploration. A mountainous region rich in natural resources, known for its stunning landscapes, ancient churches and monasteries, and its rich history and culture. Near the border with Iran, we find the Zunik region, where the longest double-track cable car without stops in the world is located. The cable car spans 5,752 meters and connects the village of Alisar with the remote Tatev Monastery, known for its architectural beauty, panoramic location, and importance in Armenian history and culture. The monastery was built in the 9th century and became a prominent religious and educational center in Armenia, serving as a place for the study and production of illuminated manuscripts. Nearby is Soritsker, also known as Karunj, an archaeological site called the Armenian Stonehenge because 40 stones stand in a circular pattern in the main area. In the Beozor region, we also find the Noravank Gorge, a spectacular canyon known for its impressive rock formations. Stunning landscapes and medieval monasteries like Noravank, famous for its beautiful church. The steep reddish brick cliffs protect the monastery, which was built in the 13th century. History says the monastery was saved by God himself when Armenia was conquered by the Mongols hundreds of years ago. Finally, this region is known for its rich winemaking history in the Areni Valley, known as the oldest wine-producing region in the world, with a tradition that goes back thousands of years, according to Armenian tradition, since the times of the patriarch Noah. Kotayk Region, an important center for agricultural and livestock products in Armenia. About 74% of the region's total area consists of arable land, representing 16% of Armenia's total agricultural output. The province is also an important tourist center, with numerous historical and cultural attractions, such as the Azat Valley, which stretches from the Caucasus Mountains to Lake Sevan. The Azat Valley is a popular tourist destination known for its beautiful landscapes and traditional villages. In addition, the Upper Azat Valley is home to many historic monasteries, including the Gerhard Monastery, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The main chapel was built around 800 years ago, but the history of the monastery dates back to the 4th century AD, when it was founded by Gregory the Illuminator. The valley is also a perfect place to relax, enjoy nature, and practice winter sports at the country's best ski resort, located in Tsagkatzer. It is also a place to learn about Armenian history and culture, as it is home to many traditional villages, including the town of Dvin, which was Armenia's capital during the 4th century, as well as historical monuments like the Temple of Garni, an ancient pagan temple built in the 1st century AD by the Armenian king Tiridates I and dedicated to the god Mitra. The temple is an impressive example of Hellenistic and Roman architecture in Armenia, showing clear influences of classical Greco-Roman design. Called the heart of Armenia because of its location within the country, it is one of the largest provinces of Armenia and is characterized by its geographic diversity, which includes mountains, lakes, and valleys. Here we find Lake Sevan, the largest freshwater lake in Armenia and one of the largest high-altitude lakes in the world. Lake Sevan is one of Armenia's most popular tourist destinations due to its scenic beauty, historical significance, and environmental value. Additionally, Lake Sevan is an ideal place for recreational activities on its popular beaches. Since the country lacks a coastline, it is the best place in Armenia to sunbathe. But the lake is also surrounded by impressive monasteries. The most impressive of them is undoubtedly Savannahvank. This historic monastery was founded in the year 874 by Princess Mariam, daughter of Ashadai, king of Armenia. Originally, it was built on an island in the lake, but the water level has dropped, and the monastery is now located on a peninsula of the lake, making it one of the most emblematic places in the region. The monastery consists of 2 churches and offers panoramic views of the lake and surrounding mountains. The geography of Armenia is very diverse, with a wide variety of landscapes, ranging from high mountains to fertile valleys. Most of Armenia is mountainous, with an average elevation of about 1,800 meters above sea level. The Caucasus mountain range extends through the north and east of the country, featuring high peaks and rugged mountain landscapes. The highest mountains in the country are Mount Ararat and Mount Ararat. Note, Mount Ararat is located in present-day Turkey, near the border with Armenia, but is a national symbol of Armenia. Between the mountains, Armenia has fertile valleys that are important for agriculture. The Ararat Valley is one of the most notable, located between the mountains of the Caucasus and the Gegharkunik Range. Lake Sevan is one of the largest freshwater lakes in Asia and is located in the central part of the country. It is an important source of water and a popular tourist destination. Much of Armenia's territory is characterized by a semi-arid climate, meaning it receives insufficient precipitation to sustain dense, lush vegetation. Although much of the country is known for its mountainous topography and semi-arid landscapes, there are still forests that host a variety of tree species such as oaks, beeches, and pines. Armenia is a country located in the southern part of the Caucasus region, at the crossroads between Eastern Europe and Western Asia, in the area known as Transcaucasia. Armenia is landlocked and shares borders with Georgia to the north, Azerbaijan to the north and east, Iran and Nakhchivan, an exclave of Azerbaijan, to the south, and Turkey to the west. Armenia has an area of 29,743 square kilometers and a population of over 2.9 million people. The most important rivers in Armenia are the Arpa, the Aras, and the Hrazdan. Lake Sevan is the largest lake in Armenia and the second largest in Transcaucasia. Administratively, Armenia is divided into 11 marzas or provinces. Its capital is the city of Yerevan, located in the west-central part of the country. Yerevan is the capital of Armenia, the largest and most populous city in the country, and its political, economic, cultural, and educational center. It is located in the western part of Armenia, near the border with Turkey. It lies in a mountainous region on the banks of the Hrazdan River, in the Ararat Valley, at about 1,000 meters above sea level. Yerevan is one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world, founded around the year 782 BC by the Urartian king Argishti I, several years before the founding of Rome. Yerevan has a history that goes back thousands of years. It has been part of various empires and states throughout history, including the Persian, Roman, Byzantine, Ottoman, and Russian empires. Yerevan combines modern architecture with historical monuments, and due to the color of its buildings, it is known as the Pink City. There are many places of interest in the city. Some of them are Republic Square, considered the heart of the city and where important government buildings are located. The Yerevan Cascade, a monumental stairway of steps and terraces that extends through the city center and houses sculptures, galleries, and exhibitions, also offering the best panoramic views of the city. The Yerevan Opera House, an architectural jewel, the Mother Armenia Monument, a monumental statue located on a hill in Victory Park and a symbol of the strength and resilience of the Armenian people. And finally, the Arabuni Fortress, an archaeological site marking the place where the ancient city of Arabuni was founded, which later became Yerevan. Regarding the cost of living in Armenia, as in any place, it will depend on each person's lifestyle. However, as a reference, according to the specialized Sykes-Bereston, the cost of living in the Armenian capital is about 10% cheaper than in Mexico City, 22% more expensive than in Bogota, and similar to the cost of living in Buenos Aires. In terms of safety, according to the travel recommendations of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Spain, the crime rate in Armenia is low, meaning it can be considered a safe country to visit, as long as travelers avoid conflict-prone border areas and follow general safety guidelines. Armenians are known to be very kind and hospitable people. In fact, there is an Armenian saying that goes, "A guest is a gift from God." Armenians have a reputation for being open and, on some occasions, even willing to discuss personal matters. Finally, in Armenian culture, family is extremely important, with strong and lasting family ties, so much so that in some cases, adults still live with their parents even after marriage. Armenia has a long tradition when it comes to education. The world's first arithmetic problem textbook was compiled by an Armenian mathematician and philosopher of the 5th century, named David Anania, or the Invincible. But without a doubt, one of the most interesting aspects of Armenia is its language, which has its own advanced alphabet. Mesrop Mashtats, a monk and scholar, created the Armenian alphabet in the 5th century AD to translate the Bible. Until then, Armenians used Greek or Persian scripts for their language. The Armenian alphabet originally consisted of 36 letters. Later, Mashtats felt some sounds were missing, so he added 3 more letters, making the alphabet 39 letters long today. Additionally, Mashtats is known for creating the Caucasian Albanian alphabet. The Armenian alphabet has been essential to preserving the Armenian language and culture. Currently, Armenia has several secondary and higher education institutions, including universities and technical colleges, offering study programs from basic education to postgraduate degrees in various fields. Armenian is the language of instruction in most educational institutions in the country. However, some universities may offer programs in other languages such as English or Russian. Armenia is rich in incredible natural, historical, and cultural landscapes that offer countless attractions to adventurous travelers, making it a popular tourist destination, as it provides several hiking routes for its visitors. In Armenia, you will find lush forests, high-altitude lakes, waterfalls, streams, gorges, cliffs, and a great variety of breathtaking scenery, which is why many specialized sites have included Armenia and the Silk Road among the best hiking routes in the world. Armenia is part of a world-class hiking route 3,000 kilometers long, the Transcaucasian Trail, a network of paths that connects dozens of national parks and protected areas across Armenia and Georgia, an apparently endless route to explore. The Armenian national section of the Transcaucasian Trail takes hikers through 827 kilometers of the most spectacular landscapes the country has to offer. The full route will take you from the Debt Canyon to Dilijan National Park. But the country is also known since the 9th century for chess, mentioned in Armenian manuscripts since the 12th century. Since 2011, in modern Armenia, chess has been mandatory in schools, as classes can contribute to children's mental development. As a result, the men's team has been proclaimed European champions several times, won the Chess Olympiad, and became world champions in 2011. The country is also well known for its strong interest in athletic activities, especially weightlifting, as well as wrestling, earning several silver and gold medals in the Olympic Games. Armenian food is a unique and delicious mix of flavors and textures. Armenian bread, or lavash, is a symbol of Armenian culture and an intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Lavash is a thin, flat bread made from flour, water, salt, and yeast and ajika, Ajika is a spicy sauce made with red peppers, garlic, herbs, and spices. It is usually served with meat and vegetables. Bastuma is a type of dried and cured meat made from beef, pork, or lamb. It is often served with bread and cheese. Kuzmachi is a dish of lamb intestines stuffed with rice, onions, herbs, and spices. It is usually served with yogurt sauce. Kebabs, skewers of meat typically made with lamb, beef, or chicken, are served with rice and vegetables. Korobats, a kind of Armenian barbecue, which includes lamb, pork, chicken, or beef, and for dessert, gata, a walnut and honey cake that is popular in Armenia and usually served during holidays and special occasions. Art in Armenia is an integral part of the culture, a testament to the rich history and deep faith of the Armenian people. With millennial-old traditions such as the use of footwear, it is believed that the first shoes originated in Armenia, 1,000 years before those used in ancient Egypt. Armenian art is known for its beauty, intricate ornamentation, and profound spiritual meaning. During the 4th century AD, Christianity became the official religion of Armenia, having a profound impact on the art, as artists began creating works depicting biblical themes and religious figures, especially in architecture, known for its churches and monasteries. Besides religious art, Armenian art also includes various forms such as sculpture, known for its detailed work, ceramics, famous for colorful designs and geometric patterns, jewelry, recognized for its metals and precious stones, and carpets, celebrated for their complex designs and bright colors. Armenian carpets have been woven for centuries and are an important part of Armenian culture. They are made of high-quality wool and woven with a very tight weave. Their colors are inspired by nature, religion, and Armenian mythology. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through Armenia. If you enjoyed discovering its rich history and stunning landscapes, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more amazing travel stories. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What surprised you the most about Armenia? See you in the next adventure.